Thank you for taking the time out of your day to share your knowledge on nutrition and the impact it has on our lives, or should I say, the quality of life. For the sake of some of our viewers who are new or unaware of yourself and of your company, would you give us a little background on yourself and Synergistic Nutrition?
Yes, I will. Thank you, James. I've been doing nutritional counseling for 22 years. I have a degree as a naturopath, which is someone that's learned the science of nutrition with an emphasis on the pHs and the roles that pH plays in the body as a focus, you could say. Synergistic Nutrition is a relatively new name to my company, but has a more accurate meaning behind it because I found in my 22 years of nutritional counseling and my investigation into the science of human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and how things work, that it's a science of synergism. Just like your body couldn't run without air for very long, and your body couldn't run without water for very long, and your body couldn't run without the sunlight for very long, and all these things and all these different foods that you need to eat. You have a synergistic combination of all these forces and all these substances working together to create a healthy body. So when you look at science of supplementation, it takes the same approach. Sometimes people are so conditioned to think the other way. The other way of thinking is that if you have a headache, you take an aspirin. If you have a pain, you take a pill. If you have an allergy, you take a pill. And so it's one disease label and it's one drug pill. So people always think in terms of taking one thing for one thing. And it's really become so ingrained that it takes time for people to get this new understanding, which is that when you're using nutritional science, it does take a combination of things to support the multifaceted aspect of how the body works. And I love the fact that Chinese medicine is focused on this. It says that basically each organ system is connected to another organ system in a chain in which they all share energy. So that means that if your adrenals are tired, then your adrenals will be taking energy from the thyroid gland to balance out their deficiency. So your thyroid becomes tired when your adrenals are tired, and all the other organ systems are related. It keeps on going in a chain where each organ that's underactive draws upon the other organ with enough energy, and then they both become drained. So in this science of synergism, Synergistic Nutrition is the name I've given to this company so that people understand they'll get much more results if they just combine things correctly in right physiological dosages, and they'll have fantastic things happen in their health.
Synergistic Nutrition. I love the name. I love seeing how things work together to bring us the quality of life that we're looking for. And I noticed that this month in July that we are focusing some attention on reproductive or sexual health. What's the reason that you have chosen this topic for the month of July?
The testosterone levels in people's bodies, particularly in America, have been dropping for some time. The reports I've heard is that male sperm counts are down by 50% or more compared to what their 1 to 2 generations ago forefathers had in their bodies. And this is due to toxicity. It's due to the large amount of plastics that mimic estrogen in the body. There's the laundry detergents that mimic estrogen in our bodies, and people typically are using laundry detergents that are full of estrogens in them, and then men wear these underwear full of residual estrogens in their underwear, and you're always perspiring rather readily in your crotch area. You're going to absorb these estrogen toxins potentially right through your skin, thus feminizing your organs. Women also, the whole sex drive strength comes from testosterone for both women and men. So women are deficient in it because after 40, it's very common for women's libido to drop off, for their ability to enjoy sex goes down because they're not lubricated like they once were. So it's a common problem nowadays at a much younger age that people's sex hormones are lower and their sexual potency is lower. Virility, fertility is lower in both male and female. And the other aspect is that as a nutritionist, someone who came onto the scene, I was born in 1960, and having experienced what I experienced, I grew up on white sugar and white flour products and sugar-coated cereals and, scooter pies and ding-dongs and, potato chips and all these refined foods devoid of their true nutrient density and overprocessed and bad for the body. So body development was not optimal. Mom didn't breastfeed. Mom didn't do all these things that are normal and natural and more common nowadays. So I experienced mercury toxicity affecting my body much stronger, and the effects were so overwhelming that it damaged my own strength, my own vitality in all areas, my reproductive energy, my adrenal energy. All these things were compromised significantly from all these neglects and all these insults. So I had to take a personal interest in it. And then the other aspect is with regards to just the genetic code, the human being in order for nature to pass on a healthier genetics to a healthier offspring, the nutrients need to be in the body contributing to the germ cell material. The germ cell material is the male sperm and the female ovum. That these protein structures are a combination of proteins, fatty acids, and minerals and vitamins, and that if the nutrients prior to conception were in the mother and father's diet in sufficient quantities, then what will happen is that the ovum and the sperm will both be of a superior genetic material. All of the components nature will have sought to improve, so that giving the next generation an opportunity to improve over the parent's body makeup. Most people are unaware of this, but this is what happens in the plant kingdom. It's what happens in the animal kingdom. The human body is an animal body, and that if the nutrients and the conditions are all there, then if there's need for an upgrading, if there's genetic deficiencies going on in the mother or father's body, then the nature will take action to try and upgrade the next generation to become a healthier human being. Now that means in every way, shape, and form. We're talking about better vision, wide jawbones, no crowded teeth, so there's no need for any kind of like braces or any kind of orthodontics or dental work. There'll be wider nostrils and wider breathing passageways. There'll be higher level of intelligence. There'll be even more towards someone acquiring a photographic memory. So I'm interested in the human family going from, I would call it, its current abysmal state of very low health, epidemic obesity, learning disorders up the wazoo, all the things that we've got going on in our society in high numbers will begin to go away as soon as parents-to-be take recognition of this very important subject of preconception nutrition. And so this package which I've created together is multifaceted in its efforts to address several things at once.
I noticed when you were speaking that there were several things you addressed that the parents are deficient in that causes the baby's problems. And then I also noticed the second list were different things that the child will benefit from the wider nasal passages to the better vision. So both parties get to benefit. And we're obviously looking at a multifaceted thing to create a perfect human being. So I see that you have a list of different things, a combination of products that make up this package. Could you tell me about the products that make this package up?
Yeah, there's several. So the first one is Tribulus, and Tribulus Formula is basically an herbal formula designed to feed the glandular system herbs that are known to be tonic in their function. So a tonic herb is something which gives it nutrients to function at its more optimal level. So that means if a gland is hyperactive, it helps bring it into a more less hyperactive state. If a gland is hypoactive, that's to say underactive, it helps it bring it up more to its optimal functioning state. So Tribulus supports your testosterone production, and the D-aspartic acid supports the sperm production for a male. The chrysin is a flavonoid along with hesperetin. They're both flavonoids, and those are used by the body to block the formation of estrogen, so that if a person has, you could say, testosterone produced, testosterone can go into then being produced as estrogen, and in order to prevent that in the body, these two flavonoids help to keep it as testosterone.
Okay.
Zinc plays an important role in the body just for helping the testosterone that's made not become protein bound. So as zinc is, after it's created, it can then circulate in the blood and become bound to blood proteins, and then thus not be recognized by the tissues as having any effect on them. So you don't get the strength, you don't get the mood elevation, the sex drive, all those things are nullified because the testosterone is bound to protein. So zinc helps prevent that. For the man, the prostate and the testes are both dependent upon zinc. Spermatogenesis is dependent upon zinc. That's the production of sperm. So virility is very much dependent upon healthy zinc levels, and for a mother to be, that would mean that if you're going to conceive a child and it happens to be a male child, then you will be ensuring that that boy develops healthy prostate, healthy testicle development, and of course healthy adrenals for both the girl or the boy. Let's see, the next one is Earth Ormus. So Earth Ormus is a unique trace mineral supplement that we derive from the product called Mineral Magic. The thing about the word Ormus is that that word means minerals that exist in a 1 to 10 atom particle size, whereas normal minerals exist in a 33 atoms of a mineral or larger, and those are used by the body for a lot of metabolic functions, creating metabolic enzymes and all that. Ormus minerals appear to be very functional for the DNA to work optimally and for the speed with which electrons flow through the body. And electrons are the currency of the body. If you have an abundance of electrons, your body will pretty much stay immortal. The amount of electrons going into the body is something that I want to point out to people at all times is very important as a way by which you stay younger. And one of the things that helps people to do that is by drinking fresh raw fruit and vegetable juices, and also to acknowledge that raw food in the diet, because raw foods have their electrons in them, and cooked foods have lost their electrons or lost a portion of them. So the Ormus elements have been used now by myself, by a few male clients, and they've all reported that all of a sudden they're experiencing erections like they did when they were in their 20s. And their recovery time after they've had sex is faster. One man in his 50s told me, and he's on our website as a testimony, that when I think he was like 56, I think when he gave his testimony, said that normally it would take him several days, like 3 days, to recover after sex. With the Earth Ormus in his diet, along with the other product I'll show you here in a moment, Synergy One, he experienced that he was the next day feeling just as though he was ready to go again. So Earth Ormus has some unique properties to it, and based on empirical, that is to say real-world evidence of men using it, it appears to be a profoundly important food for the, you could say, in the Chinese medicine they call it the Jing. So the deepest reserve energies of a man's body is found in his sexual fluids, and that he wants to not lose that indiscriminately or not know how to replenish that. So this is a product which I feel helps replenish that. Okay. Vega EFA Oil Blend. What you have in Vega EFA Oil Blend is basically the essential fatty acids that both the male reproductive and the female reproductive system need. The male reproductive system in the prostate gland needs it to produce prostaglandin hormones, which are involved in sexual desire. Same with the female. Prostaglandin hormones are involved in sexual desire. And for the female ovum, the female eggs, they're supposed to be very, very high in these kinds of fats. These kinds of fats, the omega-6 and omega-3 fats that are found in this oil. You don't need much of this. You only need about anywhere from 1/2 to 3 teaspoons a day. But it is a major player in our health. And in fact, more so for our body's ability to breathe at the cellular level. So cells' ability to absorb oxygen is dependent upon the fats in this oil. The omega-3 and omega-6 are the oils that are supposed to become a part of the cell wall, and then the oxygen, which is flowing in the bloodstream, is supposed to then absorb through the cell walls through the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So with a deficiency of omega-3 and omega-6, your cells will become under-oxygenated, and we know based on Dr. Otto Warburg's research that when a cell does not have adequate oxygen, it will convert over to becoming a tumor cell. So this protects our body from the occurrence of cancer, and it also supports the reproductive system. It's also very essential for the brain and nervous system, because your body will use these oils to make the DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, that your brain is very, very high in, or supposed to be very high in. And your body will also make EPA from this, which is a good anti-inflammatory. It's a good circulatory fat that helps your blood cells not stick together, helps the blood to flow freely. So this product, and it's what's unique about this oil over just a flax oil, is that it's very rich in certain kinds of seeds that are high in antioxidants, like black cumin seed, black raspberry seed, black blueberry or blueberry seed oil, cranberry seed oil, pomegranate seed oil, green tea, organic green tea seed oil, organic pumpkin seed oil. These very dark pigmented oils are antioxidant rich, which protects these very volatile oils from becoming bound to oxygen or oxidized. You don't want them to become bound to oxygen. You want them to do their oxygenation in your cells, because if they become oxidized, they become rancid, and that's what you don't want. So this is one that will have a much longer shelf life, in my experienced, educated opinion, than typical oils on the market. We do recommend that this is refrigerated, but you don't take this straight into a teaspoon and spoon it in your mouth. Just put it on your vegetable salad or your toast or whatever is already cooked, but you don't cook with this. Okay, next one is Nitric Oxide Support. And one of the things that's really critical for our circulatory system to remain a vessel system that supports the flow of red cells and the oxygenation of the body and the nutrient delivery system is our blood vessel passageways needs to be free of plaque, arterial plaque, which is calcium cholesterol buildup. And one of the known substances that helps prevent the plaque from occurring or helps reverse plaque if it's already there is a substance called nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is something our body makes by converting L-arginine or L-citrulline from their amino acid state into that special compound called nitric oxide. So by giving your body the L-arginine, the little bit of vitamin C, and the citrulline, and it's also sweetened with stevia so it's palatable, you will be feeding it the known nutrients to help support optimal levels of nitric oxide in your body, thus helping to make sure that you have an easy time with dilating your blood vessels. And when that comes to the male and female reproductive parts, we know that the better the circulation is to those organs, then the greater the pleasure, the greater the arousal, and the more healthier their sexual abilities are. And also for men, arginine forms 80% or so of the spermatic fluid, and so this is a very important amino acid needed in very high amounts to keep his reproductive system, you could say, tanked up. Excellent product to support lots of systems of the body, including clean arteries. The next one is called Synergy One. So Synergy One has been a long time flagship product of synergistic nutrition. It's gone by a couple of different names in the past. But this one is a sublingual product, or a product you just spray in the mouth and let it absorb. That you hold 90 seconds in the mouth for it to absorb. And this will help you to raise your growth hormone levels. So this particular hormone has been much maligned in mainstream media, and it's been much praised in the anti-aging medical community and the anti-aging scientific circles. The people that really know this topic have written books about it. You can read books by Ron Klatz, Grow Young with HGH, and others out there. You will learn that growth hormone is integral growth factor substance in our bodies to keep us biologically in our optimum state, in our youngest biological state. Because every cell of the body almost has a receptor site for growth hormone, and when you raise your growth hormone levels to a more younger state, you're basically communicating to all the 100 or so trillion cells of your body to be able to absorb amino acids, and these amino acids are then the building blocks of the cells that enable the cells to repair themselves, create the hormones, enzymes, neurotransmitters, and carry out all the metabolic functions. And when your body can synthesize protein like it did when you were in your 20s, you feel much stronger, more invincible. If you could imagine, if you're 40, 50, 60 now, you imagine what you felt like when you were 20. Well, a good percentage of your feeling that strong and that youthful when you were in your 20s was directly attributable to the levels of growth hormone in your body. So I strongly encourage people to take Synergy One if they're over the age of 40, but if they're having any trouble with their reproductive health, then this plays a profoundly positive role in supporting that, because again, protein synthesis is what's going on down in the reproductive system, and you need your reproductive system to be able to synthesize proteins. This is a support to that. The other is that the adrenal glands and the actual, not just the reproductive organs, but the adrenal glands are involved in your sex hormone production. Your hypothalamus is involved in your sex hormone production, and this helps to strengthen the function of those systems. Brain system, the adrenal system, thyroid system. So we've had numerous benefits. And when people take just this one product alone over the years, they've reported to us that their libido has come back to them. Women have told us consistently that if they're in menopause, their menopause symptoms have gone away. That's their hot flashes go away, vaginal dryness goes away, just from this one product. But if you can, again, my encouragement is that you do the synergistic package and not rely on one thing to do it all for you. Next one is called Karati. Karati is Kama is the East Indian god of love, and Rati is the East Indian goddess of love and sensuality. And this is a unique herbal formula that is very, very powerful. I'll have to read some of these ingredients because they're not common. If I was in Chinese medicine, I might remember them, but I'm not enough to know them. But one of the ingredients is oyster. The next one is barberry, snow lotus, ginger root, saffron, and 2-deoxy-D-glucose. This product is very profound for both men and women to, you could say, increase the circulation to the reproductive system and to support increasing testosterone levels. And based on personal experience, based upon reading the testimonies of others, this is the strongest sexual enhancement supplement, herbal supplement I've ever come across, and by itself is very strong. Maybe all that somebody may want to use, but nonetheless, if you're wanting to get all the benefits, you get the whole package. Karati has got a lot of power. You only need one capsule, typically to get results within the first day. About, I think, over 90% of the people that take it, based on customer feedback, is that they'll notice results the first dosage they take it. But if for some reason their system is more congested, more toxic, less functional, then using this, usually by the fourth day, by the fourth dosage, they'll get most people noticing the effects. There's about 3% of the people out there that don't get results, so 97% is a pretty good percentage compared to most products on the market. And the next supplement I'd like to introduce you to is called Capra Mineral Whey. So Capra Mineral Whey is a very unique supplement that is a mineral supplement derived from goat's whey. And unlike the other whey protein that we carry here called One World Whey, which is primarily a protein supplement, giving you the amino acids you need for many of your body's functions, this is primarily a mineral supplement that has got a balance of the sodium, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and chloride. These are 5 minerals that the body needs in their electrolytic capacity. So electrolytic means that the nerves need it, the muscles need it, the heart needs it for the whole firing process of the cell's electrical conductivity and functionality. So these are basically, this is the world's finest electrolyte supplement. These specific 5 elements or minerals are needed in very generous amounts in our bodies, particularly by the heart. I noticed that when I jog, if I take this prior to jogging, that it's easier. My heart doesn't beat as much, and that if I sprint, that my heart doesn't get up to as high of a heart rate, and when I finish sprinting, it comes down to a much lower normal rate very quickly, like within 90 seconds after a sprint, it feels like it's back to normal. That's because the heart isn't having to work as hard because all its electrolyte needs are being met. So the reason that this is recommended for this package is multitudinous. I've just mentioned a few in terms of the pH and the electrolyte needs, but one of them is also pH. Your body is seeking always to maintain an alkaline pH of 7 to 7.4 in your saliva that people should strive to maintain. Getting a roll of pH paper from us, testing your morning saliva before 7 a.m. Is the healthy or the time window to test that will give you a more accurate test of what your body pH is throughout the day. So Capra Mineral Whey supports the alkaline pH of the body, the electrolyte needs of the body, and when you're alkaline, your body has high oxygen levels, and every function of the body functions correctly. In terms of the higher oxygen levels means you convert food into energy correctly, waste elimination is better, everything stays healthy and more disease-free. In fact, Royal Raymond Rife, who did all the experimentation on organisms back in the 20s and 30s with his powerful microscope, he found that no virus, fungus, bacteria, parasite would grow in a neutral pH of 7. So pH plays an important role as an aspect of your immune system to protect you from any kind of an infection. But your liver is also largely dependent upon large amounts of organic sodium. Organic sodium is food-based sodium. It's a significantly different substance than salt-based sodium. So you've got your salt that you put on your food, that's basically sodium chloride and magnesium chloride and all these different chloride minerals, if it's a full spectrum salt like a sea salt, but it's predominantly a sodium chloride. This is not like that. This is a sodium bound to protein naturally occurring in the whey of goats. One of the reasons goats are so nimble and can go up mountainsides and cliffs and think nothing of it and never fall down, they're always accurate in their footing, and they climb steep mountains. You know, you see rams and things like that. It's because their joints are very high in sodium. So for us, our joints are supposed to be high in sodium as well. So this supports healthy joints. Also, your liver is supposed to be very high in organic sodium. Your bile pH, when your body digests food in the stomach, and your food leaves the stomach and goes into the small intestines, after it leaves the stomach, goes into the small intestines, it's immediately bathed in two fluids. One is the pancreatic juices, which are full of pancreatic enzymes to further the digestion of your food. And then the other is the bile liquid that comes out of the gallbladder. Your liver has accumulated the bile and then concentrated in the biliary ducts and put it into the gallbladder. And the gallbladder gets squeezed and releases the bile into the small intestines to begin the digestion of fats. And the bile is supposed to be an 8.3 to 8.6 pH. That's very alkaline. Well, the most abundant mineral in that bile that you will find when you do a chemical assay is sodium. But when people are deficient in food-based sodium, their bile pH becomes more acidic. So now you start to get gallstone formation, or this is what's theorized to be one of the causes of gallstones, is that the bile pH starts to become too acidic and your gallstones start to form, all because of a lack of the food-based sodium. So food-based sodium, as well as the potassium, magnesium, and the chloride and the calcium, are all critical minerals for our body's constant needs all the day, 24 hours a day. And the reason for putting it into this pack that supports sexual and reproductive health is that your liver health is the liver's largest organ of the body, and it is central to your overall health, and your reproductive health is very much dependent upon how healthy your liver is. So this particular product is supporting optimum liver function as well as many other systems, but that supports your optimal sexual health through helping your liver be healthy. Those products that I just finished telling you about make up the sexual and reproductive health package.
Very interesting that those are all products that are in a sexual health reproduction package, and yet as you're describing them, I'm finding 3, 4, 5 benefits to these programs in my everyday life besides that. So the quality of my life is going to increase on all levels, and of course if I'm trying to conceive or bear a perfect child, it's a no-brainer. So, I mean, from the EFA oils in my brain, I mean, I'm blown away to see how many different things will affect me so positively on so many levels. How long should it take for a person to start noticing the effects of these products?
It depends on their current health, and if they're in a relatively healthy state, then typically the first 24 hours.
So
if they're compromised at all, they're older, their tissues are more worn down and depleted, damaged or toxic in some way, shape, or form, then like the label says, or the information says on Karati, 4 days would be the time that it would take then.
Okay. Are there any circumstances under which these products would not work for somebody?
Whenever somebody's too far gone in terms of their biology, their liver's congested and toxic because they've got, when your intestinal tract is full of old fecal matter, you haven't cleaned it out, it's not working well, you tend to constipate, and your liver is very congested, and your kidneys are very congested from the buildup because it's not all going out timely, then those organ systems are so burdened that they'll not probably respond as optimally as you'd like, or at all, because they're preoccupied with trying to remove toxins, and they really can't mount any kind of other effective operation. They can't do their other job because they're too busy with the one job of detox.
So for the majority of us, probably all of us listening to this is a product or products that are going to change the quality of our lives. And based on everything that you said, I guess I would ask, is there a money-back guarantee?
Yeah, there is. Yes, there is money back guarantee on the products. And there is one caveat with the Karati. The Karati can increase you have capillaries throughout your whole body, and capillaries are the tiny, tiny blood vessels that are the point at which the blood passes by single file, single red blood cells, and it exchanges and delivers the oxygen through the capillary wall into the tissue system and accepts the carbon dioxide gas into the blood cell to be carried to the lungs out for exhalation. So these tiny blood vessels, when you expand them in small areas that are expandable, then there's no problem. But for some people, those capillaries in your brain area can get enough expansion to cause a pressure in the brain. And it's not like a true headache, but you categorize it as borderline going in that direction. So I caution people to be careful about their dosage they take of Karati, that it be maybe only half a capsule for starters to see how they do, and make sure they drink enough water so that things are circulating well. So there are some people that have reported that Karati has created a mild pressure headache or a pressure in the head. And in those instances, you have to take a much, much, much smaller dosage, third of a capsule, quarter of a capsule, half a capsule, to see if, in fact, you can get it to a dosage that works for you.
That's excellent. That is very valuable information. I know I've enjoyed our time together this morning. I hope everybody that's had the opportunity to see this has as well. And if they want to contact Synergistic Nutrition, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are sgn80.com. That's sgn80.com. Or they can call one of our nutritional consultants at 888-988-3325.
That's correct.
Is that correct? So one more time, that's 888-988-3325. Or you can find us at sgn80.com online. Mr. Heuer, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Namaste.